They gave me the nod so we can get going. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. I now call to order our Board of Commissioners regular scheduled meeting for September 16, 2025. Thank you all for being here tonight. We have a great room with a lot of people in here and a lot of great items on our agenda tonight. We'll be talking and recognizing here shortly. First item of business tonight is our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance. For our invocation, I've asked our Larry Smith, who is my former mayor pro tem for the town, and also retired police chief for Fuquay-Varina for 10 years and continues to live in our community, to lead us in our invocation night. And following him, I've asked Christy Cook, who is the membership director for the Chamber of Commerce, and is here also tonight with our leadership Fuquay-Varina cohort, and we'll be speaking more about leadership here shortly tonight, and she's going to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. If you would all please stand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and it's good to see all my former colleagues up here tonight. It's good to see all of y'all. Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we're just so thankful tonight that we can live in a country and a community, that we can come together as a group of citizens and appear before our town board, that we can exercise our rights to say the things that we agree with, and then, of course, I'll point out things we don't agree with, and we have the freedom to do that in this nation and in this community. Lord, we feel so blessed to live in the United States, to live in North Carolina, and we feel particularly blessed to be able to live here in the town of Fuquay-Varina. So, Father, I pray that you'll be with this meeting tonight. I pray that everything that's said and done will be pleasing in your sight. I pray especially for our elected officials to have wisdom as they have to debate and discuss items that affect each one of us. And Lord, I just pray that you'll continue to bless the town of Fuquay-Varina and keep the sun shining on us like you have for so many years. We just ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, everybody please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both for that. Before we start our meeting protocol and instructions, I do want to recognize that we have our Leadership Fuquay-Varina cohort. It's the 11th class that is here with us tonight. And Leadership Fuquay-Varina is a program that our Chamber of Commerce leads. And this is a great program that gives an opportunity for people to learn more about our community, more about town government, learn about business in our town and ways that they can be involved and how a lot of things operate. And so many of these members that are in this cohort that will stay in here in just a moment, some of them are town staff, some of them are business leaders in the community, and some are movers and shakers, and a variety of everyone's a mover and shaker in this group right here, but a variety of great people that are involved here. And so I appreciate y'all taking the time to come to our board meeting tonight as a group. You know, many of us on the board got to, in fact, Commissioner Haynes and I did that a couple weeks ago, got to speak with you too and spend some time and a little Q&A on town government and things, how that works and what goes on with that. And we have had board members also come from Leadership Fuquay-Varina. So thank you all for being involved in that. It really shows initiative. It means a lot here in Fuquay-Varina. Would you please stand so everybody can recognize and know who you are here today with the leadership? So thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. Okay. Next is our meeting protocol. At this time, I ask Town Manager Adam Mitchell to review the meeting protocol for public participation as it relates to this meeting. Adam, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Board. It's good to be with you all tonight. Tonight's Town Board meeting is both in person and live streamed on the town's YouTube channel and Facebook page. Tonight's meeting contains a public comment period, and there are no scheduled public hearings for this evening. The public is invited to comment in person. When it is the appropriate time, Mayor Massengill will call on those wishing to address the Town Board. All attendees that have appeared in person to address the town board during the public comment period should provide your name and address on the green registration sheet by the podium prior to the public comment period beginning. We ask all those wishing to address the town board during the public comment period to begin their comments by clearly stating their name and address for the public record. The public is asked to keep all comments to 3 minutes so that all that wish to speak may be heard in a timely manner. To be respectful of those that may have different views on matters addressed by the town board, we ask that all in attendance respect the decorum of the meeting by refraining from clapping, making loud noises, and generally showing support or displeasure for comments made during the public comment period. Police Chief Smith will be asked to escort from the boardroom anyone not respecting the process, and it is the discretion of the mayor as the presiding officer of the meeting to continue the public comment period if the meeting protocol is not followed. This concludes the protocol for tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Manager. Next item of business is the approval of the minutes for the September 2nd, 2025 Town Board of Commissioners regular scheduled meeting. Any changes or additions to the minutes? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion,
Second.
motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I like that orange tie, Charlie. Go Bengals. Good tie. Next is item.
50 years.
50 years this year, that's exactly right. I was commenting on Commissioner Adcock's orange tie right here, that the Bengals are celebrating 50-year anniversary at the high school this year. It's a 4-year celebration, and that orange tie right there caught my eye, so good job, Bengals. In fact, you graduated from the Bengals.
They pushed me on through.
And they did. That's a positive day. They decided they didn't want to keep you around and send you on up here to town board with us, right?
That's right.
Item 4A, presentation, recognition of Don Smith. More information about agenda item will be presented by IT Director Clark. Scott, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. An era is coming to an end. Don Smith is set to retire this Friday from the town. On June 18, 2012, Don started working for the town. And he came to the town with a wealth of IT experience, and he has been a major part of a lot of major initiatives in the town, modernizing our ERP system, which is our financial HR management system, utility billing system. He was instrumental in making e-utilities a success. E-permits would not be what it is today without Don's leadership and guidance on that. We've also launched our EHR service for our employees and our e-meters software. Don was instrumental in getting that up and running so the citizens can check their meter usage. Don has also been invaluable to me as helping run the department, and his expertise and guidance, and also Don's been a calming factor when Scott's at 100, Don's at 25, and vice versa. We're kind of like the yin and the yang sometimes when we're handling sensitive issues. But I can't say enough good things about Don and his time here with the town. We're not only colleagues, but we've become good friends during this whole time he was here for 13 years. I've relied on Don to be my right-hand man, and it's time for him to retire, and his wife Anita, I'd like to thank you for all of the putting up with all the late nights and the callbacks, and Don just working and even working from home, and when he should be paying attention to you, but he's been doing good things for the town of Fuquay-Varina. It's a sad day for me, but I'm happy for Don to be able to retire and go spend some time with the grandkids and travel and go fishing. So. Anyway, I just wanted to, Don, you want to say anything? Keep it brief.
Yeah, very briefly. No, I do want to thank the board, thank the mayor, thank you for this honor. Adam and Jim and Mark as supervisors on the chain above me. I appreciate the town giving me the chance those years back. I know in the interview they said that, Scott, I didn't understand, there was a line in there that said, at the end of everything, it said that, and any other duties as assigned by the IT director. And my first day of work, I wore a suit to the interview, and that was a little out of care. He said, if you dress like that, you're going to be the most dressed up person in the town, so don't do that. So the first day he said, bring some shorts. I'm like, what? Okay. And Jason was the only other person in the IT group at that point, and we ended up, I went out and they took me under the hill tower out there and said, we've got to dig a trench. Gave me a shovel and got to dig a trench from way here over to down there. So that, and I was like, IT, and then Jason said, yeah, any other thing that the IT director tells you. That was kind kind of a pattern that I saw up on a ladder in the sleep.
You're done.
But no, I do want to thank Scott. We've come along. The town has come a long way. I looked over and saw Tim here, and you know, I think when I started, he might have been a sergeant or a lieutenant. Jim Jones is the fire chief. Who'd have done that, you know? You know, it's been a great period of time in my life. Worked with some really great people. I see a lot of staff out here, and I got the benefit with the projects I ran to interface with a lot of different departments, and I've got to say the town of Fuquay has such a high level caliber of people that work here, care about what's getting done for the town, and pushing new initiatives, trying to always improve. So I appreciate that. I do have a few Smiths here. I wanted to introduce y'all. Y'all got the introduction of Larry. I do claim him as my older brother. Larry Smith is my brother, his wife Wendy. The young man on the end down there is my little brother. That's David Smith and his wife Sharon. My kids couldn't be here because they just landed coming in from Colorado, and I had to send my other daughter out to go get them because I had to be here. So I appreciate that. And to my wife, Scott said some of the things I was going to say. I appreciate all her support. She's never cared that I had a PC up on the kitchen table and she's watching a movie, and I said, oh, you got to pause it. I got to restart these servers. You know, or Scott's decided we're going to change the telephone system all in one night, so I might be home by Saturday. So, I mean, she understood it and has always supported me. And of all the people in the room that are scared tonight, she's the most scared. What's going to happen when I'm home all the time? But no, I appreciate it. The town has been a great experience. I want y'all to look. This row right here is the IT group. Y'all stand up. Take a good look at it. My nickname has been Old Man now. For way too many years. What a young group. They're great people. I feel great that I'm leaving the town in good hands with such really good guys and gals now to work with. So I appreciate all of y'all too. But that's about it. I appreciate it. I thank you. And I will be fishing and golfing when the phone rings, so don't call.
You haven't even given your number yet.
Yeah.
Don, got loud right then. Thank you for your service to Fuquay, Fuquay-Varina. I mean, it's entertaining, and the stories that you already are sharing about this. I mean, I might do this at every board meeting. Let you come back and tell the stories about what Scott did to you on the job, and whatever else that the IT director shall decide right there for you is an interesting way on that for Scott. So Scott, way to go on digging trenches on the first day of work for the new guy right there. But thank you for your hard work, your service for Fuquay-Varina right here, and everything that you've done. I'd like you to come up here, please, and I would like to present to you my mayor's coin. A mayor's coin is for somebody that's been a dash more and done something unique for Fuquay-Varina, and your service here in Fuquay-Varina 13 years means a lot. And on the back side of this coin, right here is the railroad tracks that come between Fuquay and the Varina side and unite us all back together. And so thank you, sir, for your service, what you've done here in Fuquay-Varina. We appreciate you, and thank you for being my friend too. Thank you very much. One final thank you is Anita. Thank you for allowing Don to have so much time outside of the 9 to 5 here and whatever else the IT director may desire as we work right there. But thank you for your support of Don right here and your family. And it means a lot to him because he's worked hard in the town. Having great support at home means a lot too. So let's give Anita a round of applause, please. Congratulations, both of you. Enjoy your time that's ahead of you. Thank you.
And while I'm up here, I wanted to take the opportunity to introduce one of our newest members of the IT department, Ashley Dickens. If you please stand, you can come up here. She's our new cybersecurity administrator, so she'll be helping protect the town's asset and keep us secure. So I just wanted to introduce her.
Welcome to our meeting today. If you
She
would
gonna be
come,
responsible for the water bills?
No, that's not her responsibility. We got to figure that out.
Don, I forgot to offer this to you, but I'm sure all the other board members would love to shake your hand also and express gratitude to you. So if you get a chance to shake everybody's hand real quick too, they'd appreciate that too.
Congratulations, Don. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. No, I'm going to.
Thank you for everything.
Larry wants me to golf too, but I had him for 10 years, so that's not bad. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
All right, item 4B, presentation of one water plan update. More information about the agenda item will be presented by Public Utilities Director Wagner and Nancy Daly. Mike, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm just going to briefly introduce you to Nancy Daly, who is the Water Resources Program Manager for Wake County Government. She is going to provide an update for the Wake County One Water Plan, which has been a collaboration of partnerships of municipalities and water sewer service providers, stormwater folks throughout the county that we've been working on for quite some time. So I'll turn it over to Nancy.
Right. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, everybody, for having me here today. As Michael mentioned, I'm Nancy Daly, Water Resource Program Manager with Wake County. And through this role, one of the primary efforts I've been working on is development of the 50-year Wake One Water Plan. And this plan, while it's being led by the county, is very much a collaboration. And it has been a collaboration, as Michael mentioned, with the municipalities and with community partners. And excited to share an update on that with you today. I will say the Wake County Water Partnership has been integral to the development of this plan. It is a board-appointed committee. Michael Wagner is the Fuquay-Varina representative and has been in many, many meetings and technical workshops, kind of representing Fuquay-Varina on the challenges as well as some of the opportunities that we face with water as we develop this plan. So before we jump too far in, I just kind of want to set the stage. Now, I don't think I have to talk too much about this with Fuquay-Varina on why this matters. You are no doubt well aware of the growth taking place in Wake County and the water supply demands that go along with that growth. But you know, this is the real kind of real world we're living in, and so we, recognizing this, wanted to be proactive and take a long-term view about how we can better prepare for our water resources. So just to kind of set the stage of how water touches all of our lives, just take a few moments here to think about economic development. Wake County continues to rank in one of the top places in the country to live, and attracting economic development, and with that, the residents that are going to support the workforce that comes with that economic development. Well, none of this happens without water. If we don't have water supply, if we don't have wastewater treatment capacity, we're not going to be able to attract and maintain that economic development. Agriculture, Fuquay-Varina is one of the areas of the county that still has, a good agricultural representation and nice agricultural land. It is also, of course, home to John Deere, and so major manufacturer. And agriculture is a major economic driver for not only Wake County, but North Carolina. So without water, we're not going to have crops, we won't have agriculture. And so again, from the farming agriculture perspective, water's a critical component. Affordability is something, we may not think about day to day, but it's something we want to make sure that we are aware of and plan for, to make sure that everybody has access to a clean, safe water supply. So as Wake County and the municipalities continue to grow, there will be increasing demands for water. This requires expansion of water treatment plants, and it also, as we learn more about forever chemicals and contaminants. It's going to require additional water treatment. So all of this requires additional investment. Again, I know this is not new news to Fuquay-Varina, but all of this can have trickle-down effects to the individual water utility bill. And even for those on private wells, there can be treatment requirements to mitigate from naturally occurring contaminants that occur. This can be cost prohibitive for some residents, and so we want to recognize this and work together. Again, we know with these future supplies, the future growth, we're going to require additional both water supply and water treatment. Artificial intelligence, Chat GPT and AI has become kind of commonplace language in all of our day-to-day conversations and workplace, and we don't even really think about it. But what you may not know is they are large consumers of both energy and water. And while Wake County and the surrounding area have not been a real hot spot for data centers to date, if you don't have to look far across the country to see that the impact that some of the when these data centers come, they can have tremendous impacts on the water supply. And so this is an opportunity for us to plan ahead, be proactive, learn from others, and make sure that we're prepared. Flooding is a little closer to home. About a year ago, at the end of this month, we had Hurricane Helene hit western Wake County, and then just even several months ago, Tropical Storm Chantal had major infrastructure impacts. Orange County, Chatham County, Wake County. So again, real impacts that we need to understand and prepare for. And while drought might not be as at the forefront of our mind, it wasn't too long ago that the Triangle region experienced a severe drought in 2007. And this really, I think, woke up a lot of the water supply and utility providers, and really that crisis spurred a lot of the regional collaboration, which is so strong and really increasing our resilience today. But, as humans, by nature, we have short-term memory, but drought can happen again, and we need to be prepared. Fire is, also, a critical piece that we don't think about day to day. Public safety requires water. When we think about the wildfires out west last year, one of the major challenges they had is they didn't have enough access to water. In 2017, UNC campus had to shut down because they did not have water and would not be able to respond should a fire break out. So again, all these kind of day-to-day interactions that we sometimes take for granted won't happen if we don't have adequate water. So through this plan, we looked not only at future land use and population growth, but also future climate and what those impacts might be on water resources. So we know that the population in Wake County is projected to double by 2070, and with that, the water supply demands are going to also more than double. With this growth and increasing population, we're going to see changes in land use with the loss of open space, forests, and agricultural lands. So we want to really see what we can do and plan ahead to mitigate some of the impacts. I mentioned increasing weather extremes. Again, we're seeing some of this already. Higher temperatures, and then both more droughts as well as floods, which, basically we're going to have projected to have larger intervals between precipitation events, but when we get them, they will be much higher magnitude and much more extreme, leading to these sporadic floods. So again, trying to think through what we're seeing, what we're projected to see, and how we can best increase our resilience. The real-world impacts of this are evident in the headlines, both locally at a national level. The forever chemicals and PFAS that have been identified in Jordan Lake, but are also, surrounding us across the country. Severe flooding that I mentioned, and I mentioned the UNC campus and water shortage supply we had there. And then again, at a national level, we can look across different regions of the country to see the impacts that AI is having and just the increase in water demand. So it's an opportunity just to look to others, learn from others, and be more prepared before a crisis hits. Recognizing all of this, in 2022, the Board of Commissioners approved funding for the Wake One Water Plan. This is a 50-year water plan that integrates all forms of water. So it's very much a holistic approach. It considers water supply, both surface water and groundwater, stormwater, and wastewater, recognizing that they're all connected. It's very much built upon the foundation of Plan Wake, the county's comprehensive land use plan, and really looks to identify strategies that have co-benefits. So not just thinking about water quality, but also thinking about economic and social benefits. We want to make sure that we have the water we need to support the economic development as well as residents, agriculture, and that we're protecting the high quality of life and the natural resources that make Wake County so special. So community involvement and collaboration are integral and kind of core to a one water approach. And so from the very beginning, we've conducted extensive outreach. We've had 2 public surveys that have received more than 2,600 responses. We've had a number of community input sessions, including one at the Southern Regional Center just down the road, and a number of technical workshops. And as I mentioned, Michael and a lot of our municipal utility providers and Wake partnership members have been in multiple meetings helping us think through the strategies and how we can better prepare. So this is kind of a timeline and an indication of where we are. In 2022, we started with our vision and goals. Between 2022, 2024, we really spent a lot of time with our consultants taking a deep dive into the data. So really better understanding what are the water supply needs, what are the projected future water supply demands, looking at wastewater, looking at stormwater, looking at groundwater, and really thinking about what is our current status and what do we need to prepare. So right now, we have developed a draft plan, and I'll provide more information at the close of the presentation, but it is available for public comment right now. So based on all of these meetings and the technical workshops with our subject matter experts, we've basically identified 4 key focus areas that are kind of the theme of this One Water plan. One being optimized water supply. So really trying to maximize the value of all water. So how can we reuse water, capture stormwater, reuse that stormwater so that we're not using potable water supply for irrigation and uses that don't require potable water. And also a big focus of this number 1 is to really improve coordination and planning with municipalities and the county on future water infrastructure planning. Another focus area, number 2, would be water quality and hydrology improvement. So this encompasses a wide array of strategies, but it includes things like nature-based solutions or green stormwater infrastructure, which is basically using stormwater practices that mimic nature. Nature is the best at slowing down, filtering, improving water quality. And just down the road, Beach Bluff Park is a great example of a lot of these practices. They incorporated a lot of this in their design and is a great example that we can look to. It also includes strategies such as composting and septic maintenance. So how can we reduce the water quality pollutants that are entering our streams and surface waters? Land conservation and preservation is a focus area, and this includes not only open space and forests, but also agricultural land. Trying to think of how we can have a kind of a closed loop system and support local agriculture and protect agricultural land. And then finally, flood resilience. So again, I think we're all very aware of these impacts, and the strategies associated with flood resilience include things not only with gray infrastructure, such as dam rehabilitation or culvert sizing, but also things like flood modeling and education and outreach for residents so that they're better prepared to respond to storms. So with this plan, we hope to increase our resilience and mitigate some of the challenges that we see. So we expect to see increased groundwater vulnerability. Then, that could lead to drier wells or dry streams. And so we want to prepare now so that we can promote practices that increase groundwater recharge. And we have a number of strategies in the plan that can help with that. Also, reducing stormwater volume and flood frequency. So there are things that we can take both from the local government level, but as well as residents and individuals. And then how can we reduce pollution associated with storms and protect our open space? and all of this, it's going to take all hands on deck. So again, one of the things our plan does is recognize strategies, not only that a utility provider or Wake County can implement, but also what local residents can implement on an individual basis. And this again goes back to that theme of collaboration and partnership. So there's a lot of different entities that are involved in water management in Wake County. The county is responsible for overseeing private wells and septic, also oversees stormwater regulations for county jurisdictions and a number of the smaller municipalities, and we have our open space program. The municipalities, of course, have their utilities for water supply and wastewater, as well as stormwater and parks and rec. But we also have private entities that provide water to many in Wake County for both community wells as well as community wastewater treatment. So, all of these entities need to be at the table when we're thinking about water. Water doesn't care, what jurisdiction you're in. It knows no boundaries. We need to work together and really think about the solutions in more of a regional and collaborative way. So you've heard me mention the Wake County Water Partnership many times throughout the presentation. This is just a highlight of who is represented on that. So we've got representatives from every municipality. We have environmental advocacy groups, a private water provider, private well owner, agricultural representatives, and the diverse perspectives of this group are really its strength. So we need all of these voices and visions at the table as we think through this. So they have been integral in the development of this plan, are going to be key to implementation of the plan. So what do we need from you? We really want to ask you and work with you to identify opportunities to advance these focus areas and the strategies in these focus areas within your organization and in collaboration with the Water Partnership. As I mentioned, Michael and many of the municipalities have been involved in many work groups thinking through strategies, and so we're asking for the municipalities to continue to support staff and subject matter experts as we work through these strategies and implementation of this plan. And then just promote One Water in your communities. Again, I think a big part of One Water is just increasing awareness. We take it for granted day to day, many of us, and I think it's not a given that you're going to turn on the tap and water is going to be there. So what can we do today? How can we kind of think about that value of water in our day-to-day activities and do more to protect that? I mentioned our next steps. The public comment period is now open for our draft plan, and this is available on our website. Public comment will be open through October 10th. We will have a webinar just providing an overview of the plan on October 1st, and we anticipate finalizing this plan in early 2026. Happy to take any questions, but do just want to kind of recognize our partners in developing this plan. Hazen and Sawyer, Tetra Tech, and Research Triangle Institute have all worked many, many hours and getting us this point, as well as, again, our Water Partnership members and Wake County staff. Happy to take any questions.
Nancy, thank you very much for coming tonight and doing this presentation. I appreciate Mike and his team being involved with you at the same time. A few comments I would make. The county does not provide drinking water, but instead, correct still?
Yeah, we oversee private wells, so groundwater.
Yeah, oversee
Yep,
private
correct.
wells. The town provides municipal drinking water, and I believe, my opinion is that municipal drinking water, with the regulation that goes through versus a well, is typically a safer method of drinking water, just because from a ground leach standpoint and what we have here in Fuquay-Varina, I know we work hard to provide our clean water in regards to it. I think that the county, from the county standpoint, should encourage anybody to tap onto municipal water lines when able versus drilling wells. And I know there's some rules in regards to distance from water lines and things like that. But I'm really more with new development and needing to tackle one of those and annex into town so that they have services there. Septic tanks, just for the exact reason that you stated, when they're built on houses, leach into the ground. That's how they're designed, and going in there, which is not necessarily a positive effect always on water, and especially as septic tanks fail with time. So I would encourage those to be hooking onto municipal sewer systems. But I think that the county, and I know this goes up to the Board of Commissioners or other areas, has areas that sewer is not allowed to service in. And we all have urban service area agreements and areas that towns won't expand past. And I use an example of the 1010 Lake Wheeler Road area. The town of Fuquay-Varina has water and sewer lines directly at 1010 Road, and it's county on the other side of that road right there. which is the county's requiring septic tanks to be there. And so the town could service it and do those municipal agreements. It gets tough for the town to be able to do that. And so I would just encourage anybody that's involved to, making it easier for people to be able to tack onto town municipal systems. And, especially whoever's closest in that time period, and specifically that area that I use right there as an example on that. And, will continue to be a way that can help ensure drinking water. Because often wells don't get routinely tested after they're put into somebody's house unless they have a problem. They'll call for a test. And I know the county can help somebody with that, but, town drinking water is routinely inspected and regulated throughout the year. But thank you very much for this presentation.
Yeah,
It's
thank
good
you for
information.
having me.
Commissioner Adcock, I think you had a comment?
Yes. This plan, I don't know that I really understand it, or what the purpose of it is, so I want to ask a few questions. Does it have any control over the town of Fuquay as
It does not,
so
no.
it doesn't control what we do when, as providing water or
No.
sewer or anything?
No, we are just providing the information, the municipalities provide water through their utilities. Wake County oversees, groundwater, private wells, but the plan is intended to kind of bring all this to the forefront and how we can work together. All water's connected, so how can we better manage together the future water resource needs?
Well, I know, has the county, and maybe this is a question for the town manager, but in my time, I can't, what has the county done to help us? We've gone from, in my time, about 5,000 people in Fuquay-Varina to about 50,000. What has the county done to help us to provide water to the citizens?
Well, in terms of financially, nothing. We have done that on the backs of the citizens ourselves through either grants or through rates, or on the backs of developers through development fees. We've spread that around. I think what the county has done is rework their land use plans and future plans to try to encourage that development go to the municipality, especially within the planning jurisdictions. And so that is, one of the ways that the county has tried to steer away from what the mayor is suggesting of not necessarily drilling wells, but going to municipal water. Now, financially though, that has been something that we have gone at alone, either through grants
Kind of like the
or through
ETJ
rates.
expansion, that we did not get full ETJ expansion.
I'm sorry, Mayor.
We did not get full ETJ expansion either. That
That
was
is
requested, and
correct.
that would have been a great way to protect water and have water taken care of.
That is true.
Okay, I'm sorry, Charlie, go ahead.
No, and that's on my mind too. I mean, really the reason I asked the question about how it affects us is, in my time on the board here, which has been over a decade, I've never known the county to help us. And if there's a plan, I'd rather be interested to know how the county's going to help us provide services, rather than, my fear is, it's trying to tell us what not to do. And it's hard for me to get on board with something that's going to tell us what not to do if you're not helping us do what we're trying to do as far as progressing and providing housing and services to the citizens. So just a different perspective. And as the mayor brought up, we did try to expand into our ETJ to the east, and the county didn't let us do it. And if you look at the maps, the eastern side of the county is where most of the contaminated wells are. So we've tried to do the right thing, and the feeling that I have gotten is that the county has not supported us.
Well, I think, as was pointed out, well, first of all, this is not, a regulatory demand or framework. This is outlining strategies of how we can work together and, incentivize doing things that are going to help us together with the water supply. And you're right, as I mentioned, that as the plan has been developed with this Plan Wake comprehensive plan as kind of a fundamental part of it. And that is all focused on trying to push development towards the city centers and, trying to reduce the sprawl. And so we don't have to keep expanding into areas like you said.
Well, it's real easy when somebody is in in a city or a town that's already experienced rapid growth, whether you're in Cary or whether you're in Raleigh, to then say we don't need any more growth in the southern part of the county. But the facts are, it's coming here whether we want it or not. And we're trying to make good decisions. And it seems that sometimes the people in Raleigh and Cary kind of put their nose up and act like they know better than we do, but they never help us. And so that is a point of heartburn that I have. For instance, with the ETJ, I emailed all of the county commissioners, and you talk about collaboration. I asked them to partner with us to put infrastructure in, and we could put, when we talk about missing middle housing and those kinds of things, and put different requirements on the folks that tie into those services. If we don't get our services out there and these rural areas develop, you can go, it's not real hard to figure out in Wake County what happens. You got $1 million houses. I mean, if you're talking about affordable housing and housing for working people, the county development is not where you get it. And so there needs to be, I would love to see a collaboration between the town and the county, but it needs to be one where we're looking at how we can promote growth and not look at it as a negative. The other thing is, for us collaboration, we have done that with Holly Springs and with Lee County and Sanford on providing water down here. So I'm not trying to yell at you or you know, try to make you feel bad. I'm trying to give you a different perspective that if you haven't heard it, I just want to say it because there is a different perspective on this. And I personally have felt like the county has not really been a partner for quite a long time for Fuquay-Varina.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the comments.
Thank you, Nancy.
I just have a couple questions.
Mr. Harris, go ahead.
I understand that, Ms. Daly, that this is part of an evolving plan, and I just had a couple of questions. After the plan is completed, and I know going through the process of having heard from stakeholders and identified certain concerns, once the plan is completed, will there be funding for whatever the recommendations are that have been identified through that planning process? Yes, that's the first question.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. And so, you know, the recommendations and strategies are going to take different forms. Some of them are going to be organizational. So, you know, thinking about, again, how we can reframe and work together in more coordinated planning. Some of the projects will require funding. So right now, we don't have identified funding pot, but that's, you know, that's one of the things we will be working through the water partnership and the work groups is to kind of help prioritize and figure out, you know, how do we need to come together to get these funded and how that needs to happen. So right now, we don't have a designated funding source.
Okay, and my second question is, as part of the discussion, has there been any discussion about not only collaboration among the municipalities, the 12 municipalities here in Wake County, but from a larger perspective, a regional, multi-county conversation about the importance of water and what it means? Because we do have some large bodies of water that cross jurisdictions, and I was just wondering if there has been a discussion about regionalism in any regard at all.
Yes, so, you know, one of the things that we are trying to do with this plan is build on the existing strengths and partnerships that already exist. So, you know, Fuquay-Varina, Michael is part of the Triangle Water Supply Partnership, which includes the utility providers from Orange, Chatham, Wake, Durham. And, you know, I mentioned they have been working together for years, and they are developing a 50-year kind of regional water supply plan. So we are well aware of the work that they are doing in trying to elevate and also build on that rather than duplicate that effort. So they are doing tremendous work to help increase resiliency. This includes, trying to tap into the work that they're already doing, but also considering the pieces that maybe aren't addressed through that group. So looking at stormwater, looking at wastewater, and then too at, more of a residential kind of individual scale.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Nancy, thank you for coming here today. I know you may sound like you the messengers got shot tonight, but you're just a messenger in regards to it, and I understand that completely. But you do, I think, have some good information and feedback to be able to tell the county, because it's not the first time that we've said it down here tonight to them, and you're the messenger, so we appreciate you taking the time to come here tonight. But we just would like to see the higher-ups at Wake County treat it more like a partnership down here. So thank you very much.
I appreciate
for
your
time.
comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public comment period. At this time, the town clerk will call on individuals that are in attendance and have registered to address the town board prior to the meeting. The public comment period is a time for the public to address the town board about any matter that is not the subject of a scheduled public hearing. Those speaking are asked to begin by clearly stating your name and address for the public record. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes in order that all who wish to speak may be heard in a timely manner. Teresa, do you have anybody signed up?
Coleman.
Mr. Coleman? Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you. Kind of wanted to come tonight just to rehash some stuff that has already been discussed. 490 Longfellow Street is what I'm speaking in reference to. Sometimes when you don't show up, people think things are okay, but we're not okay. So I think many of you all remember that 2023, maybe late fall, I came to the town planning committee, had a conversation with them about all of the concerns about the property at 498 being done by Capital Match LLC, Judson Smith. It was not favorable that night. We only had one dissenting vote, and it was 4-1. From there, we brought it to the town board, maybe a little bit later of 2023, and much discussion, and I brought to you all of the information from the planning committee about all of the negatives. And if I remember right, there were not really any positives about why that property should have been built on. But it was mostly negative. But one of the words that still haunts me to this day is highest and best use, which is part of your land use for town of Fuquay. Highest and best use. And I just keep hearing that because if anybody ever gets a chance to go by 498, and two of the dissenting votes from here are two of the people that I know go by there every day. And so maybe that's why they had a little more concern about what's going on at 498. But it's a mess. And it has been a mess ever since this board gave him permission, permission to build on a lot. It's 0.172 of an acre. He paid $82,000 for it, which was about double for that lot at that time. And I started following the money, and usually that's what you have to do. For him to pay that much money, he had to know that it was going to get changed from RLD to TCR. Matter of fact, his letter that he sent out September 23 said that I'm going to build 2 townhouses. How did he know he was going to be able to build 2 townhouses before it was even rezoned to TCR? Another thing that keeps haunting me is, can't he build anyway? That's another comment that was made. Can't he build anyway? Yes, he could have built anyway, but he never would have bought it because it would have been a bad investment to spend $82,000 on one house. So, it just makes me feel like he came in, knew it was going to get done. It got done with all the negative. It got done. I spoke at my mom's church, which is right across the street, which used to be a direct line from her back door to the front of the church. My mom drives to church now because there's no more direct line. It's a complete mess. And town of Fuquay allowed it to happen.
Thank you for your comments, sir. I'll have you some comments here in just a moment. Teresa, do you have anybody else signed up?
Jonathan Mendoza.
Mr. Mendoza?
Evening, Mayor, members of the board, Jonathan Mendoza, 211 Socket Street. As you mentioned earlier today, Mayor, I'm a part of this year's class of Leadership Fuquay-Varina. Leadership Fuquay-Varina began in 2015 with the mission of building and sustaining a vibrant economy through robust public and private partnership, focused on making Fuquay-Varina a great place to live and do business. Each month, we meet as a class, engaging in exercises and tackling issues that impact us as leaders. It is the goal of leadership that we take these experiences out into our community and make Fuquay a place that everyone wants to be in and for more people to come to. Each year, a leadership class is tasked with a community service project of their choosing, and I'm proud to present, on behalf of this year's class, our community service project. We collaborated together to identify an issue that we were seeing in our community, and ultimately, like many of you have said, we are continuing to grow and it is not going to stop anytime soon. And we need to account for these changes and the new demographics of people that are going to be coming into our town. And to that end, we decided as a class that we would like to put up communication boards in the 5 most visited parks in Fuquay. For those of you that are not aware, communication boards are tools that can be put in place and used by those on the autism spectrum or have difficulty communicating or are nonverbal. We are very grateful for the donors and sponsors that we got for our boards, and we are looking to unveil one of our boards at an event coming up soon. We ask that you all keep a lookout for posts by the Chamber of Commerce here and the Downtown Association for a date. And we are really, really happy with how much engagement we got from the community, from businesses, and ultimately what we've been able to accomplish thus far. Thank you all very much, and hope you'll have a good night.
Thank you for your comments. Look forward to that project in our community. Thank you very much. Teresa, do you have anybody else signed up?
That's all.
Okay. In regards to the property that was brought up earlier, Mr. Coleman brought up, I do believe majority of all contractors in Fuquay-Varina do a very good job, and this contractor over there currently has not done a good job. It is not something anybody on this board is impressed with the quality that's going on there. I know that staff by all of this board has been involved with, and I have conversations with staff every single week. The man has been fined several times for what's going on over there, and staff has been in touch with our town attorney and what can be done as much as can be in regards to that there. It's been an eyesore. Now, I do believe in property rights, and somebody that owns a piece of property can build on their property and what they want to do in regards to construction on a piece of property that meets legal town ordinances. And so the property did meet legal town ordinances beforehand. However, where we are today is somebody that has building something that's not proud of. And so no different than we have seen in other parts of our town that have houses that are boarded up or windows broken or ones that have been burned and not been cleaned up. We've gone after those individuals, and staff is going after this individual very strong here, again, with multiple fines, and continue to routinely stay on that in regards. And so I know that Adam and his team right here will continue to do that and stay on top of them and don't let down on them at all over there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. There are no items tabled from the previous meeting, and there are no public hearings for this evening. However, there is a consent agenda. What is the board's pleasure on the items on the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, may I ask a question just based on your comments?
Go ahead.
For clarification, since Mr. Coleman has come up, is there a timeline that we can work with to address some of the concerns, if there is a timeline? There may not be, but maybe that might help.
So there was there's some utilities that we as a town had to dial back on what they could do as those utilities were relocated in regards to that. Once the utilities were relocated, then they were immediately started being fined for not immediately going to work. They wrapped up a large amount of fines and when they're working and not working. And Adam and town attorney have been in touch with that. You share with Commissioner Harris some of the things you may chat about or what's getting ready to happen or what's happening with that property?
I think we're at the stage now. Well, let me first back up. The rotten trusses that essentially rotted due to being exposed to weather while the contractor was waiting for Duke Energy and Spectrum to relocate their overhead utilities, their conflicting overhead utilities. Those have since been hauled off the site. The second story has been basically deconstructed since it was no longer good. We have, as the mayor mentioned, fined under our town code the contractor until he cleans up the site suitable to our town ordinances. He's done some removal of dumpsters and work on the site, but admittedly more needs to be done. It's not in a suitable state. Without getting into the specifics of legality, given that we may have to consider that as a future option, I will say that statute gives us the opportunity to put him on the clock to provide us a completion schedule, which we intend to do. And if he is not able to provide a viable plan for completing the site, then we have other options available to us that I've discussed with the town attorney on how we can get that site back into a suitable condition, which it is not presently today.
Okay, okay.
So I think just to summarize, there are some paths forward that management and legal counsel are working towards.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
What's the board's pleasure on items on the consent agenda?
Approve as presented.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 10A, Administrative Report, Contract Award, Budget Amendment, and Project Ordinance Amendment, Fuquay Avenue and Raleigh Street, ADA improvements. More information about agenda item will be presented by Engineering Director Poland. Matt, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening.
I love it when you bring us some of our projects to get done, and you're good about that.
Thank you, sir. I am submitting this agenda abstract and supporting documents into the official record of the town. The purpose of this agenda item is to approve a budget amendment and a project ordinance amendment in the amount of $200,000 and award a contract to Brow Construction Company in the amount of $167,789.60 for the Fuquay Avenue and Raleigh Street ADA improvements project. And so the Fuquay Avenue and Raleigh Street ADA improvements project will construct ADA compliant curb ramps at the intersection, and work includes the demolition of the old curb ramps, milling and overlaying of the intersection, grading along the edges to restore any vegetative strips that we might have, and some striping, some storm drainage work as well. The project was advertised for bid on August 6, 2025, with bids opened and publicly read aloud on August 28, 2025. 4 bids were received, with Brow Construction Company being the lowest responsible bidder. And so this project was previously brought to the town board on August 4th, 2025, which was authorized, the board had authorized staff to advance the project to construction. And so tonight, the recommended motion is that town staff recommends approval of both the budget amendment, BA 26-12, in the amount of $200,000, along with its corresponding project ordinance amendment, POA 2605, and award the Fuquay Avenue and Raleigh Street ADA improvements contract to Brow Construction Company in the amount of $167,789.60, and authorization for the town manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the town, subject to review by the town attorney as to form. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Matt, what's the start date?
So our start date will probably be 3 weeks from now. Just as soon as we are able to execute this contract, the contractor is ready to go. Probably going to have about a 4 to 5 month contract time, depending on weather. If we start getting a lot of rain and it starts getting cold, we can't put thermoplastic down for the striping, so we may have to wait until the spring to do some thermoplastic striping. But for the most part, all the hardscape can be done within 3 to 4 months. So.
Is it, what helped make this project move so fast compared to some of our others out there?
There's no federal funding.
That's what I thought. So we use our federal partners as much as we can, but all DOT, that would, how much time? Basically, this project came from, board talked about it, you brought it to, not long ago to us, now here we approved it in a very short time period. If federal funding had been added to this, how much longer would this taken?
Probably several years. It's to be on a lap application cycle, it's a multi-year
So here's an example.
project now.
I just want the public to hear that. Here's an example where we get a project done and prioritize, and cost something we could afford to do too, a $170,000 project versus a $17 million project or $1.7 million project, and it got done in a very short time versus years it would have taken DOT to get approval to do this. So thank you for your hard work on that and getting this done here. What is the possibility on this project right here, that, the other crosswalk hoses and things in that was done when that intersection was redone, and then it got repaved and all got gone? How difficult is that in here, that if this project ended up, instead of having the horizontal stripes or vertical, all the little stripes, just had the two long ones, kind of like the fire department one had, and it had some artwork, being that our art center is right here adjacent to that building, how hard would that be if that was something that, I don't know, I can't remember how the last one got done, but if Maureen had an artist, somebody or something we wanted to pay for to have some art involved in, that's at the corner adjacent to our art center right there.
It shouldn't be too difficult. I will add that there is a little bit of a safety component with these really big piano keys. They're really high visibility. I'm sorry.
I say it's a four-way stop, so people should be stopping.
Yes, sir. And so I'm not real sure how the reflectivity of the artwork for, near the art center, how that kind of complies with DOT specifications, but we can definitely look into that and get back to you.
I would ask you if you could, please do that, it's not gonna add too much time to this project, between management and Maureen, and how that art happened last time on there. I think it'd be a great opportunity before it gets, thermoplastic goes down, we know it don't come up. So it'd be great to at least explore that opportunity and the cost that's relative to it, something the board could consider. But this key intersection located right there beside our art center could be a good possibility for that there. But thank you.
Yes, sir.
For bringing this so fast. Any other, Commissioner Haynes?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'm just glad to see this project moving along. Definitely, since we're continuing to, we're starting to look at Library Park and what the advancement that'll be. So definitely helping this, and as many of us have driven this intersection, and oftentimes almost get hit when you're trying to pull off of Raleigh Street back onto Fuquay Avenue. So just glad, and we've had many citizens come and voice their concerns about the ADA part of this intersection. So I'm just glad to see it going and moving so fast. So definitely thank you for everything.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to ask, the decision to make it a four-way stop, how was that determined?
The decision, it's, I guess, inducing more traffic calming when you have a four-way stop like right there. With the increase in pedestrian activity, it makes sense to have this as a four-way stop to make sure that we are slowing cars down, we're inducing more traffic calming. Also, the parked cars on the side of the road also helps to induce more traffic calming. It kind of squeezes the cars down into the lane a little bit more and helps, force the driver to slow down.
Commissioner, also greater activity along Fuquay Avenue and Raleigh Street with active development.
So many times with stuff like this, there's a traffic engineer or study or some scientific method to how those things are determined. It sounds like this was more of a
safety.
Like it was a good idea, and so I just wanted to ask that question. The other thing is, I think the mayor's right about the crosswalks, and I think if right here at the Art Center, his idea is something that I'd like to have pursued as well.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your involvement on this right here. Now here, Commissioner Haynes, you about to make a motion a minute ago?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, so moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion approved, let's get it built. Thank you, Matt.
Yes, sir.
Other business, manager's report, item 11A. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things to update the board on this evening since our last town board meeting from several of our departments. Since we've talked about federal funding, we are going to be submitting applications for a number of projects, which we will later come back and share with the board. For the lap funding process through Campo. They've opened their call for projects, and so we'll be evaluating that and bringing that back at a future meeting to the board. The engineering department is working to evaluate that information. Tanner Stewart and Michael Boujlian recently completed the first step in their career ladders within the Public Utilities Department and were promoted accordingly. So we want to congratulate both Tanner and Michael on their advancements in the organization. And we want to also just recognize Allison Wiley, our Planner 2. She just kicked off her second year as a volunteer advisor for the Fuquay-Varina High School GIS Club, which is becoming more active over at the high school, which we're excited about. The annual recycling calendars will be going out in utility bills over the next month, so we ask our customers to continue to look for those, as well as review information on our website. We updated our GIS capabilities on our website so that we can inform our citizens better on when their garbage and recycling is to be picked up, so hopefully to reduce confusion and make it easier for our citizens, our customers. We do appreciate all the partners that participated in the International Festival this past Saturday. It was well attended and very busy. And this Friday is the opening night for the Community Theater's program production of Disaster, which is a spoof of disaster movies popular in the 1970s. So if you're a big 70s disaster movie fan, you'll like the community production for this year, this fall. The second session of the Criminal Justice Club has begun at the Herbert Akins Road Middle School, and due to its popularity, a new club is also launched this year at the Fuquay-Varina Middle School. So a lot of interest in criminal justice in our middle schools, and we're excited about that as well. The relationships that our law enforcement officers are building with the youth in our community. The club aims to educate students about the law enforcement profession, inspire the next generation of officers, and help youth develop valuable life skills. As it pertains to our fire department, they were instrumental in helping to host the 9/11 memorial ceremony at Fire Station 4 this past Thursday. It was a great event. It was well attended and a fitting tribute to those that we lost on that day in 2001, and to the first responders that put themselves at risk every day. We had a live burn at a property on Fanny Brown Road this past Saturday, which was also a huge training success. More than 40 firefighters from Fuquay-Varina, Garner, and Fairview fire departments participated in the training. We were working with our neighboring departments and fine-tuning our skills and tactics, which is a great way to spend a Saturday if you're in the fire service business. So I want to thank our fire department for helping work with our partners to lead that off. Rodolfo Silva completed all of the necessary requirements and was promoted to firefighter 2. We want to congratulate Rodolfo. And 2 new firefighters will begin their careers with the town of Fuquay-Varina next Monday, as they will fill 2 current vacancies, and we plan to introduce them and have their pin badging ceremonies at a town board meeting in October. Our youth sports winter resident registration is underway through September 28th. Register early, and there are limited spaces available. This is for basketball, skills and drills, dance troupe, and cross country. And we also have an active fall of special events listed, and some of that's under other business as well. Since our last board meeting, Mayor mentioned it earlier, some of the elected officials, but as well as management and department directors, had the pleasure of meeting with the Leadership Fuquay-Varina cohort, who is with us tonight, to share with them how we work to provide service to our community and how local government operates, and answer their questions. It was a great back and forth Q&A session, and we're just happy to be able to continue to be a part of the learning process for that cohort. Since our last board meeting as well, Mayor Massengale, myself, and Assistant Manager Jim Seymour of our Development Services had the opportunity to spend a little time with Mark Doble and tour his new aviator facility. I know that he'll be having sort of a grand opening ceremony later this fall, but as you understand, the town is a bit of a partner in that great new facility in addition to our community, and so to be able to see that in its nearly completed stage has been very good. a phenomenal Follow Me to Fuquay-Varina concert last week, as well as a very successful food truck rodeo. Some great events this fall have been transpiring. I know that there's many more on the horizon, both through our Parks and Recreation Department, through the FVDA and our Downtown Association, as well as other partners. So just a lot to look forward to as we continue to move forward in the fall. With that, Mr. Mayor, there are a few items on the agenda just to draw the board's attention to. We have our Follow Me to Fuquay-Varina concert, Jim Quick and the Coastline Band on this Thursday, from 6:30 to 9:30. Coffee with the Cop will be at the Village at Marquee Station on Wednesday, October 1st, from 9 to 10. And then our annual festival, our annual community festival, Celebrate Fuquay-Varina. The Thursday night concert, the band Bounce will be performing in the Varina Business District, so it should be a lot of fun. 6:30 to 9:30, and then the Saturday Downtown Festival in the Downtown Fuquay District from 10 to 4 p.m. With that, Mr. Mayor, that completes my comments for tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions that you or the board might have.
Any questions for management? Nope. All right, thank you, manager.
Thank you.
Commissioner Harris, any comments?
No comment tonight, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Commissioner Adcock, any comments?
No comments.
Commissioner Wunsch, any comments?
No comments, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Haynes, any comments?
Just a quick two. I might as well take up everybody else's time.
Hey, you got at least, 45
I
minutes.
know. Two quick things. Definitely had a great time. It's always good to see leadership, Fuquay-Varina. It's always amazing just to see the group of people who we bring in, who's always come in every year, especially when it includes town members, business owners, and so many other people in the town. So it's just amazing to see that, and I'm always proud because I was on a part of the inaugural class. So it's always good to see leadership Fuquay come out to the town board meetings. I remember my first one when I came with the leadership Fuquay-Varina. This morning we were able to attend the Emergency Food Pantry Capital Campaign kickoff event, which was very, very good. They're working harder than 12 months. They want to be ready to break ground on their new emergency food pantry. So that was a great event this morning around, I think we did that at 8:30 this morning.
8:30, right.
So that was good. Also, I was able to attend with the Indian Association of Fuquay-Varina. I hope I pronounced this right.
Correct way.
The Garba Dandia night.
Yep.
We had a great time. Me and Mr. Mayor learned a ceremonial dance out there. We ate some amazing cuisine. We had a great time, and they are ready to get involved in the town in whatever way they can. So that was amazing. I had a meeting with the president as well later that week. So that was a very good event. And the last thing is, as we're coming up, as Commissioner Adcock spoke earlier about 50 years, I posted on my social media today that the Fuquay-Varina High School, all former athletes are being asked to come back for homecoming. They have a variety of events for every single one of the sports, for a meetup of every single one of the sports at different times for over that Friday and Saturday. So that information, we can get that information to anybody. So if you know people who played for Fuquay-Varina High School over those 50 years, they have a meetup for every single one of the sports that happened at Fuquay-Varina High School. So that's going to be a great event. Even tennis, Mr. Commissioner Adcock.
All right.
You close. Same country club, different sport.
Oh, golf.
Golf.
You got that too?
Yeah.
We got it all.
Yeah. Also, Mr. Coleman that spoke tonight, he and I were in the band together.
I was in the band too. I was a little bit later though.
A little bit later than Charlie. That's right when Charlie had hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Commissioner Harris, you can, or excuse me, not Commissioner Harris, I'm sorry. Commissioner Haynes, you can dance too. We're dancing on that circle and rubbing the sticks, and
I don't remember what the sticks were called, but we were rubbing
special names, and could break a leg, shake a leg.
Exactly.
Exactly right. And we had some good spicy food. It was great. Thank you, Commissioner Haynes. Mayor Pro Tem Gardner is sick tonight, so she is not here. She has a sickness, and we know she'll be back soon on that. A few comments to make tonight. There's been several new businesses that have been opening up in Fuquay-Varina over the past constantly. Every week we have new businesses opening, but since our last board meeting too, several new ones that have opened and relocated into town, and continue to welcome those businesses and grow our commercial tax base in regards to that, new opportunities to shop at. The Fuquay-Varina Emergency Food Pantry that was mentioned earlier did have a kickoff campaign this morning. It was well attended and well on the way, and they feed hundreds of meals every week, and so we're really proud of what they do. And so this Friday is a chance to support them. They're having a pancake dinner fundraiser at First United Methodist Church. Methodist Church is right there off of Main Street near the Link. So go there and enjoy some pancakes. And Laren made sure we knew this morning that it was all you could eat when you pay for it too. So bring your family and children to help support this very, very worthy cause on Friday, 5 to 7 right there. The International Festival builds every year with our type of cultural festivals that we're having. And is Maureen? Yep, there's Maureen right there. And it was well attended, Maureen. I mean, the weather, we couldn't have asked for better weather, people coming inside and outside. I thought it was well attended, and a lot of different, 15 different countries, if I remember right, represented there. And so, including the kids and adults that were there, everybody seemed to have a good time. So your team and the volunteers did a very, very good job on that. A lot of positive comments that day. And the cuisine on the food trucks was good also, so be able to taste different things too. So good job, well attended in regards to that. And our 9/11 memorial, you know, it's important that we continue to recognize 9/11 every single year, and both our fire department and police department worked very hard on that, and Gabe Riley did a great job singing at that event also. And I think it's very well done and very tasteful, and it's important that, so thank y'all for the planning committee, and y'all too for being involved with that planning committee on that and planning it. But I think it's important to continue to do right here, and our citizens appreciate a remembrance of it, and encouraging people to get out and volunteer and serve in our community that day. So it's a lot of positive comments that come out of there. So thank y'all for being involved with that. And I know a lot of citizens, like I said, came up to me and said how much they appreciated that town does it. It's very few, if any, municipalities left in Wake County that still recognize that day right there. Different churches, different locations have events, but of municipalities that do something. So thank y'all both again for that right there. Town Manager, I believe we do have a recommended closed session tonight.
Yes, sir, Mayor. The recommendation is to enter into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A3, attorney-client privilege, and A6 personnel.
Can we have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motions and seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll clear the room and go into closed.